way.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Fatherly Fandom Watch Party. Today, I have some of the most amazing people on YouTube coming in for this watch party for the finale of Ahsoka Season 1, right? Because there's gonna be another season. We're all in agreement on that, right? So, welcome to the show, everybody. Let's get everybody in here. Boom, we've got Robbie from Attack On Show, Doug from Not Your Status Quo, Dave from Not Your Status Quo, and last but not least, the man of the hour, Keith from Not Your Status Quo. How are we doing, everybody? Let's start with Robbie. Welcome.
I'm very excited. I'm glad Not Your Status Quo here because you had a big hype about amazing people, and I was worried it was just me, so I didn't think that would live up to the expectations.
Dang.
These guys are amazing. You're amazing. I've been a fan for the last couple of months watching all of you guys and a little jealous, so I'm really excited to be involved on camera here with you guys. I don't do a lot of this live streaming, so this will be a new adventure for me. So thank you for having me.
It is so exciting to have you. Like, both me and the guys from Not Your Status Quo here, I bet we all agree that like we really love your channel. We love your stuff. We support you as much as we can. And it's just like, I'm so glad you're on here right now.
It's much
I'm
appreciated.
jealous with how quickly you get shorts and stuff out. I mean, Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers gets hurt,
This guy
and 2 minutes
works.
later, you got a short up. I'm like,
Yeah.
is he a psychic?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I'm sorry that we missed you at Comic-Con this year, though.
Yeah, you guys are both there at the same time.
Yeah, I did run into Doug there. I did get to see Doug at Motor City.
So I was gonna talk to Rob, but I wanted a hot dog instead. So
Oh,
It's harsh.
totally fair.
oh man, Doug.
Look
in
at
my
that.
horrible
He's
defense,
ripping you right away.
in my horrible defense, I hadn't eaten all day, and I had already been in line for half an hour when he found me.
It's
like,
so
I think
chaotic
that's
there.
wrong.
I mean, there's so many people that it's overwhelming at some times. And I think I ran into you at the end when I was kind of on my way out. Like, I had already had a few hours under my belt there, and it's like you get kind of burnt. And
Yeah.
Well, Keith can tell you, I was in line to get this for about 3 hours.
I think that's
He kept
worth
coming
it,
back
though.
and like, hey, has the line moved? No, not yet.
yeah.
Me and Sully went and got some nachos and walked around the place. We got this mystery box, this TNT mystery box. We come back and Doug's moved like a foot. I'm like, are you in line a second time? He's like, no.
No.
He's worth the wait.
Definitely.
And
So
she's
let's move on to
very
Doug.
cool. I love Ashley. Real quick
yeah.
stories. I did get to meet her at Disney in the last Star Wars weekends that they had.
Ooh.
And she was there, and we waited in line to get Ray Park's autograph in the morning, because in the morning you get there 4 a.m. You have to pick a line, and then that's the only person that you're going to get. So we waited for
Wow,
him,
that sucks.
and then we knew when Ashley was done, and me and my daughter waited outside of her exit, and we made custom Save the Clone Wars shirts.
Oh,
And when Ashley left, she was walking out, and I pushed my daughter. I was like, just ask her for a picture, see what she does. And my daughter
Nice.
was she 7 maybe at the time? And she was like, Miss Ashley, can I have a picture with you? And she turned around and was about to say no, and then saw the shirts of my daughter, and she's like, yes, I can have a picture. And her agent or whoever manager was trying to pull her, no, we got to go. And she's like, no, I can take this picture. And went and took a picture. She was just super cool about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Robbie, I want to say you're an awesome father, but way to push your child into getting there with Ashley.
He knew how to get it
Very
done. If he would have walked
resourceful. I
over,
know.
should have been like,
I love it.
all security.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's awesome that you got to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Great
Doug,
thing.
how you doing, buddy? Let's go on.
Well, Chris, let me tell you, I am outstanding tonight. It's the season finale of Ahsoka. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting diligently for this since last week, Tuesday, when the last episode ended, and I said, is it next Tuesday yet?
Yeah, right? Yeah, me and Doug did the watch party last week, and it did. It's another episode that just cut off, and it's like, no, no, I
Where's the
need
rest?
more. Where is this? So,
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it too. Dave, how you doing, brother?
I am grand. I really have been just working ever since the last time we broadcast on Sunday night. And
Where's
I
your
can't
hair?
wait for this. What's that?
Where's the hair?
Oh, sorry.
The
It's over here.
drummer's
Let me
hair.
go get it.
Yes. That was
But-
outstanding.
I cannot wait to see this show. I mean, I know it's going to be, to me, I think it's going to be a cliffhanger. I don't think we're going to have any resolution to this story. It's going to be a cliffhanger looking at either a movie or next season, probably next season.
I kind of feel like you're right. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end, Thrawn is going to be in the new galaxy. Luke is going to show up to battle him, and then it's going to cut the credits.
God.
No, Luke. I'm reeling that in.
I'm just,
One
I'm
second,
joking. That was a total joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
was
got
reading
to
about
reel
Both
something
gonna
in.
show up.
I was reading some theories online today. And, oh my God, people.
Oh, the theories.
Like, I
are
like to
out
be
there,
crazy
though.
with my theories. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fun.
Right.
I don't keep the head
It is.
canon and hate the show when it doesn't happen. Some of these people are like overboard. You know, we've talked about
Yeah.
some of them. Like Balin is Luke's real father.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Balin is Obi-Wan's brother. I'm like, people.
Like, why are we trying to
Please
form
stop.
connections with every main character? Can we just let this person be themselves for once?
Yeah, I had to
there we
quit the
go.
theories. I had,
There it is. Yeah.
Ah!
All right, guys.
Yeah.
No,
What were you saying,
the
Robbie?
The rule, Chris, is that everybody needs a magic grandpa. You're either the magic grandpa or you need a magic grandpa. Everybody's related.
I guess so.
So
Oh, sorry, Robbie. What were you saying?
Oh, just some of the theories. Like I almost had to just turn a blind eye. It's kind of like I started treating it like for like movie trailers. You know, like how they can
Yeah.
ruin it. To where some of these theories, and I don't necessarily. I mean, they're great theories out there, but I also think sometimes they build the expectations so high that it's almost not fair to the show. That you know, some of these theories are better than what the show actually makes. Where you're like, man, I wish they'd have done what the
right.
theory had. They kind of blew it. Why'd they do this? So I think to
Like
try
the
to keep my
Mephisto thing.
expectations in check, I started kind of
True.
trying to stay away like the trailers.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, it's a hit or miss with all of these theories, and yeah, just like trailer. I'm right there with you. With trailers, it's like I don't know if I actually want to watch this because a lot of the times, like they'll spoil the entire movie, the last scene of the freaking movie in these trailers, and it's like, well, there you go. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Well, at least
Definitely.
with Zack Snyder movies, the trailers are the best part.
They are
If you
top
watch
notch.
like the 2.5 minutes, you probably caught
all the
whole movie.
stylized moments, yeah, all in
Yeah.
one beautiful shot. I love that.
No one can make a better 2.5-minute movie than Zack Snyder. And more time when it's ruined.
Yeah, he
That's
does do a
definitely
good
true.
job with those.
Either 2.5
So,
or
Keith.
4 hours. There's no in between.
Exactly, perfect. So Keith, how you doing? You're the last one. I need to ask.
Well, I won't save the best for last because we don't want to lose any viewers
Oh.
tonight. But yeah, I'm doing tremendously. It has been an absolutely bonkers day.
Yeah.
Work has been jam-packed. My daughter got her permit tonight.
Oh boy.
She had to go to the Secretary of State. So that is crazy.
Talk to him
My
completely.
son had,
Secretary of State, that's the DMV for non-Michiganders.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And I'm proud you made it back in time after going there today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's the funny thing: like, she had an appointment at 3:50. I made the appointment at 3, and I was chastised because she didn't have time to come home from school and get ready for the photo. Because it's different for guys going to get a driver's license
Yeah.
photo. They show up, take their hat off, and go, "Yeah, who
Yeah.
cares?"
It's like,
Not the
how
same.
we doing? I'm good.
Right.
As a girl dad, I'm learning, so I changed it to 3:50.
Yeah.
And so Sully, my son, had a tutoring. He tutors with his first grade teacher. She's working on her master's and working on a master's in reading. And she's like working on ways to help kids learn to read. My son can read, but working on things with things. So I had to drive him there. And I was laughing because they left it to go do it. And I haven't even left with Sully yet. My wife calls and like, we're done. And I'm like, it's not even 3:50 yet. They went with never happens at the Secretary of State. They went in and they were like, "Yeah,
Anytime.
it's a ghost town. Just come up and we'll finish you up and get you out of here."
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
That's
that the
never
one
been
that's
my
so far?
experience.
Did you grab a lotto ticket on the way home?
Right?
know, right?
No, because we wasted
He's
all of
now
our
a
luck
millionaire.
getting through the Secretary of State that time. No way I'm winning the Powerball now.
It's like $1 billion right now.
Ooh, that's nice. And I could devote myself to this completely if I won that. It'd be
You
great.
could make your own Star Wars film.
There's probably a few
Oh,
things that you
wouldn't
could
that
do.
be
Yeah.
awesome? Yeah. just a few things. But since I haven't won the lottery, you guys should definitely subscribe to my channel as well as Attacking on Shows and Not Your Status Quo. If you want to see more of this type of content and more of the amazing stuff that each of these great creators is putting out there, subscribe today, like our stuff. I can't say enough good thing about these folks. It's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are here for this finale tonight. This has been just a fun season, so why don't we kind of dive in on how we're viewing the season so far. Are we liking it? Is this one of our favorite Star Wars shows? Robbie, let's start with you.
I'm liking it. I think of the Star Wars shows, it's my favorite. I don't know if this will be popular, but I don't know that Andor was really good, but I don't know that the Star Wars shows have lived up to expectations. So to say it's a favorite, I don't know, is like, was a hard task. I am really liking it. There is still something I have to say, as much as I'm liking that, it's still missing, but I also know that Filoni is a slow build. And I know as much as this is continuing the Rebels story, he's also trying to start a new storyline. He's trying to do a new introduction. And he generally takes a season or so, I feel, to get going, to really start excelling. So my expectations were kind of checked on that level for this. I would have liked to see a little more progression, but that's just because I've been watching Clone Wars since it first released, even back to the 2D before it was Dave Filoni. But so for me, it's like, this is season 5 of Rebels after 7 seasons of Clone Wars. I want to hop right in, and I have to check those expectations. But I've definitely been enjoying the season. I haven't been utterly like disappointed or think they've had some huge misses. I want more.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like Obi-Wan Kenobi where I just fell off the entire time watching that show. I'm like, there was so much filler with a lot of that kind of stuff. Andor, I very much enjoyed that show, and I thought it was brilliantly done. I love the production of that. But yeah, this one, it's enjoyable. Yeah, and we'll see what happens with the finale, but I very much enjoy this one more than Obi-Wan or the Book of Boba Fett, that's for sure. So.
I mean, season 5 jumping up and down, that's been the highlight of all Star Wars TV series, I feel like.
Right. So, Dave, what do you think so far of Ahsoka?
So far, do you want me to put it on the Doug scale?
No, we'll save that for
We'll save that for later. I think it's been amazing. I've heard what the naysayers say. I don't agree with them. I don't even see what they're talking about as far as like the naysayers are all like, it's too woke. I think this is a natural progression for these characters. Like you said, Rob, it's like Rebels season 5. But at the same time, if you didn't see Rebels, I think the way he's telling the story, it's not laying it out in a way that you wouldn't understand it. He's got this character out there named Ezra. He hasn't, in the beginning of this series, he hadn't really talked about him very much. But I don't think you had to see Rebels to understand that he was a character that Sabine wanted to, reunite with. That's all you need to know. You didn't need to have the full Rebels history to understand that he's an important character. I think, and you said it too, that the way Filoni slow plays his stories, to me that's brilliant because he takes his time. He lays all the eggs. He puts all the Easter eggs out, and then you can refer to him years later, and he's thinking that far ahead. That's what it's just been a great show. And I think Andor is still my favorite, even though I didn't expect anything going into that show. But this is a very close second. Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 are very hot on those heels too. But like you said, Obi-Wan I thought was horrible, and Book of Boba Fett was just kind of So this has been great as far as the Star Wars traditional storytelling with Jedi and everything, this is definitely the best that they put out.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. So, Keith, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely in agreement with you guys. I think we got one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars in the season that started in Clone Wars. We saw some of it in Rebels, and it was kind of resolved here. You know, Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order, and then finding out that Anakin is Vader in Rebels, kind of before she was pulled out in the World Between Worlds. And then seeing Anakin, Anakin basically let the guilt go. This is not your fault. And that was one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars. And that was, you know, like Filoni does like to do. He slow plays it. We've all talked about it. He is willing to take his time to get that payoff, which when you wait for it, it always, you know, pays dividends. And I think this show has done a really good job of building characters, having them in different places from when we last saw them because of the time jump. And every episode has been enjoyable, some much more than others, but none of them have been bad. Everything has been above average, in my opinion. Some of them dang near perfect. Yeah. And I'm just hoping, you know, they land it tonight. They land the ending, because
I hope so too. Yeah,
we know that
landing.
We know that things can go horribly awry if you fail on, you know, the finale. It can really turn everything sour. I trust Filoni to do the right thing. And like Dave was saying earlier, this is going to be the Empire Strikes Back. There is no way Thrawn is going to be defeated tonight, because we know it's building up towards a movie, hopefully a trilogy.
Hopefully a trilogy.
Season 2, Mandalorian Season 4. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. And we got one of my favorite villains of all time in Star Wars 2, where they have a plethora, that means a lot, of great villains. Baylan Skoll has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I can't
Best
say
new
enough.
Character out there for Baylan Skoll.
So I think Andor's probably the best show in the Star Wars universe, but Ahsoka might be my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, definitely.
What if they end the season with a computer Princess Leia saying somehow Thrawn has returned?
Oh, please don't do that. Oh, geez.
I cannot imagine Filoni would do that, but I could totally see Disney saying, "This is a great idea."
Yeah. If anybody's gonna fight Disney on that, it'd be Filoni to get that not
Let's
made.
do it.
Me and Kathy think this is a great idea.
Kathy, is she still employed? Oh, for crying out loud.
Robbie, have we gotten rid of Kathleen Kennedy yet?
Not yet. Still pushing the message as much as possible.
Guys, and if you haven't seen Attack on Show's video, like, from every year, you know, you're like, this is the year, guys. She's out. And then the next one.
Okay, but you know,
she's coming.
At least Rob, he isn't like going online and saying, "I have sources. She is definitely fired."
Yeah,
I like
absolutely
some certain
appreciate that.
big Star Wars theory channels. Oh shit! Did I just give the name away?
By the way, I almost made a horrible mistake. You know, I turned my phone on to this as I'm getting ready when we went live, and I almost hit Star Wars Theories watch party.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Oh, watch party! Whoa! Better read that whole statement." There we go. Okay, thank you, YouTube, for recommending that. Guy, he's probably up in arms about zippers or a video or something. Who knows?
Orange.
How dare Ahsoka have a button?
Yeah.
So out of character.
There's some buttons in there. So, Doug, we haven't heard from you yet. What are you thinking of the season so far?
So far, I'm really enjoying almost every aspect of this. You know, I gotta say, pretty much every new Star Wars series that comes out, I'm usually all like poo-poo about it. Like, it's gonna be terrible. This is dumb. It's not gonna work. I want my
dumb.
I remember when these two told me about The Mandalorian, I was like, Boba Fett, the TV show. Yuck.
But it's not.
You were right on that one.
Yeah.
and so when they're like, oh well, we're all gonna watch it. Like, even when it like initially premiered, I'm like, whatever, I'll wait. And so we ended up like all watching it together at our where we used to record our old studio. And I'm like, wait, no, I kind of liked that though. Like, so first off, the music hooked me. That got me more than I expected it to. That theme music,
that soundtrack,
and then it was essentially what I think the Book of Boba Fett should have been. But I assume what they were doing is they were playing it safe. Let's not use a named character. Let's do a man. We're gonna do the dollar store Boba Fett, where we're gonna make, he's still gonna be a Mandalorian, he's still gonna be a bounty hunter, and we're gonna insert cute baby buy this item in stores everywhere. But I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. Then when it came to the previews for Andor, I'm like, ugh, Andor, I already know what's going to happen. I don't even care. I didn't even like his character that much in Rogue One. Rogue One was fine. I liked the robot. That was my favorite character. And so I'm like, I'm not going to like Andor. This is going to be a dumb show.
And we didn't even get K2SO in the show.
It was my favorite show. Yeah. Granted, probably, when you put it into context of like all of the other Star Wars shows, probably not the best Star Wars show, but really, really good. Now, Ahsoka.
Fantastic.
Ahsoka
series.
is good. Ahsoka is good Star Wars. It's not just a good show. It's good Star Wars. It's got great use of the Force. This is something that I love about as these shows and movies come out, how they'll kind of add to the Force. Yeah. Like a lot of people don't realize, but when Episode 5 first came out, when Empire came out and Luke pulled the lightsaber to him, that was
brand new.
Nobody knew that you could do that with the Force, as far as anybody knew. Oh, the Force is like, it lets you shoot a torpedo down the chute of the Death Star, and also ghosts can talk to you, I guess.
Right.
So as we've been getting more of these shows, more of these movies, I love how they're increasing. They're telling us, oh, no, you can actually do this, the Force, you can do that. It adds to it. And I love the fact that now we've gotten Ezra back. Also, I guess I'm fine seeing him back. Wasn't a fan of him in Rebels, but hey, it's kind of fun seeing him back being a goofball and using Force powers.
Yeah, I gotta say, Iman Esfandi is doing a fantastic job with that character. I actually, like you, Doug, I didn't care for Ezra as much. And let's pray for Ezra tonight, guys.
We know what's happening tonight.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Guys, he's going home.
I retire in 3 days. I just bought a boat. I can't wait to go fishing every day.
I'm going to bring all my turtle friends.
Feeling about this. Yeah. But it's so great. I didn't care for that character as much in Rebels as well. I always found him a little bit annoying and whatnot.
Yeah, I did too.
The way that Iman Esfandi is playing this character is very endearing to me, and I very much. And it was all last episode too. He definitely shined. At least for me, he did in that episode. I very much enjoyed that. And that each and every good Star Wars is able to give us some extra element into this world, into this galaxy with the Force. Or the story, or with the world that's being built. And good Star Wars is able to do that. Bad Star Wars just puts it in just for fun. And I think this is more of the former, with Dave Filoni writing this stuff in to make sense for the story. And that's what I love about his writing, is he's not just putting any of this stuff in just for fun. It all plays for what the story that's being told. Whether or not you like the story or not is one thing, but it's all being done for the story. And just the writing itself is just amazing for this series. I love it so far.
I was kind of hoping he was directing the finale. I kind of hoped he would have pulled through a few more episodes of the series.
Right. Yeah. And I do hear, Tony Gilroy mentioned this too. He's not going to be directing any of season 2 of Andor because he's like, it's just too much to run a show and be the showrunner and get all this stuff organized and on the side direct an episode as well. So maybe Dave Filoni is kind of doing the same thing. He also has the movie that he's starting on. Maybe he has to focus on that as well. So he got Rick Famuyiwa to direct this episode, which he is a Star Wars veteran now. He's directed episodes of The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if he didn't do any of Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was all. Who was that director? But it was one director.
Deborah Chow.
Deborah Chow. That's right.
She did every episode?
I thought so.
Yep,
wow.
She did. She directed all of them. So that was something else that was different about Obi-Wan Kenobi. They didn't bring in multiple directors for each episode. But I agree, Robbie. I would have liked to have seen Dave Filoni take his show into the finale as the director as well, if he could have. So I agree. But hopefully Rick Famoye does a good job with that as well. Let's see what we got with some of the comments here. This guy named Keith Richter here. Luke is showing up with Mara Jade and their kids to stop Thrawn.
No.
Wouldn't that be a way to introduce him? Reel it in there, Dave? Okay.
Reeling that in big time, yeah.
We got
That's
Pharaoh
that's
of
just silly.
Vibes. That's so silly. Pharaoh of Vibes says, I can't wait to be disappointed by the finale. I love Star Wars, didn't watch Rebels, still don't get why Ezra is important. Cheers, fella. Okay, it's not
Let me just say one thing. Nobody hates Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan.
Very true. So she sacrifices the safety of an entire galaxy, I'm guessing, for a reason we don't need to know. Oh, about Sabine Wren. Yes, her questionable decisions throughout this series.
Everybody's favorite character.
And I do say, like how I was saying earlier about this being Rebels season 5, I do wish we'd have gotten more of a standalone Ahsoka story for a season, and then
Agreed.
started introducing in like a slow roll on the Rebels characters and a draw in. But 'cause I do think there are a lot of people who did not watch Rebels, and they're not getting a lot of the story.
I agree, Robbie. Like, I feel like that is definitely been a problem of late with Star Wars, is them pushing their main character aside. They did it a lot with The Mandalorian Season 3, and I was not happy about that. I really thought that they should have made a story with The Mandalorian being on his own while Grogu was training with Luke, have that be the story, and eventually get back together for the finale and focus on that dynamic.
I mean,
I definitely thought they brought in.
Sorry.
What's that?
I say Obi-Wan was more about Reva. Then you had Mandalorian take over some Boba Fett episodes.
Yeah, you just don't need it. Yeah. Let the side characters be side characters for once, Let the star shine.
Do you think Dave Filoni doesn't believe that Ahsoka can stand on her own without other characters?
I'm curious. I don't know. I mean, we didn't get that chance. I guess that's kind of what I feel like.
Because if you think about the last season of Clone Wars, when we did have the opportunity to kind of hang out with her on her own, in was it like episode 4 of the last season of Clone Wars? Like she was by herself for all of 5 minutes before she had to start hanging out with the Martez sisters.
Yeah, and then the Martezes. Oh,
Keith's favorite.
But then
I'm still their own show, man. Any day it's going to be announced.
God,
I bet we're going to get a post-credit scene in this announcing the Martez sisters
in live action.
I don't think so. I'm gonna reel that one in too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's out. It's up.
It is live.
Part 8.
How's this work? We all hit play at the same time?
It's on?
Yep.
We got
It's there. Refresh.
Boom, boom. Oh, yeah. We're going to... So I'll take this off the screen, and, we'll count down here. And...
Do we skip the recap?
Do we want to skip the recap, everybody?
I think so.
Hang on. I can't even get it going here. I can't refresh. I'm on a...
It's got Sierra's best character for the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
Sierra for Sabine Wren. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip the recap, and then I'll count us down here.
Are we skipping the intro too?
What do you guys think? No, we'll let the intro go. Mine's still loading.
Okay.
Mine still doesn't show episode 8.
Dun, dun, dun. Refresh.
Did you not give the extra money to Disney Plus, Dave?
I just did change
probably
my
have
subscription to not include ESPN Plus. Yeah, still
me the
7
Disney
is
logo.
as far as I go.
All right, I am on the Lucasfilm logo. Is that where everybody
I'm
else
on a
is?
Lucasfilm.
No,
Is
I
everybody
I
else?
don't have it.
Oh,
I don't have anything.
Refresh.
I'm on Lucasfilm logo.
Me too.
I'm getting nothing.
Have you hit F5?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Have you
is
tried
your
reviewing?
I see
internet
crowd
just
as well.
not having it tonight?
Try blowing in the cartridge.
There you go. That
Yeah, let me
always
just,
works.
You know, It's funny
I'm
that you say that. Even after like all the reports of people saying that's actually the worst thing you can do for cartridge games, like I was cleaning up my Super Nintendo and I was like, instinctively, blew in the cartridge before sticking
Yep.
it in. Don't know why. Just
Every time.
habit.
It works.
It's just habit.
Yeah, it worked. Wasn't loading. You blowing it, boom, it works.
It worked.
So
Like you're
47
supposed to change
minutes
the oil
and
every-
6 seconds.
47 minutes.
Okay, it showed up. Where do you want me to pause it?
So you're going to skip the recap, and we're going to be on the Lucasfilm logo. So as soon as you get on the Lucasfilm logo, pause it, and then we'll count us down. While we're waiting, Robbie, I just started watching Loudermilk. Freaking awesome show. Thanks to your suggestion.
So
Awesome.
great. So great.
Yeah. I do hope they make more. What, they did 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Nice.
I might have to get out of here, guys. I've had to refresh 3 times. It won't go any further past the Disney Plus logo.
Huh.
Disney
mine
Plus,
did that
this app is tricky. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
problems with the Disney Plus app.
I know. I did have to refresh mine too to get it to work. Everybody's on it right now. We're all.
I was gonna
we're
say,
all
Wow.
jazzed.
ton of people trying to watch it.
Someone just said they just killed Thrawn.
Oh, shit.
Jeez. No. Oh, the fan base would just.
Ezra
riot.
suicide vested him.
I know. Yeah.
Some rando asteroid just took out his ship.
Yeah.
Actually, he's just walking and he falls off.
Chopper.
the cliff.
It turns out they were actually in a secret relationship the whole time. You see, Ezra and I got to know each other quite well on this planet.
Any luck there, Dave?
Nope. I've refreshed it like 7 times. It's just sitting here.
Do you think it would work better on a TV or something?
I don't know. There we go. Finally.
You got
You
it?
got it? Yeah.
Skip
Woo!
recap, skip intro, and pause. Okay.
Lucasfilm, we ready? Okay.
Yep.
Everybody ready?
All right.
Yep.
Hold on to your butts. You guys know that reference? 3, 2, 1. Playing. We good?
I'm
I
going.
see helmets.
I see helmets too.
I'm
No,
having
Sabine was
theories
red.
about the
It was evil.
colors.
Yeah, why is it red?
Why are mine all gray?
Always good seeing the Chimera.
I love that graphic on the bottom of the ship.
Yeah, me too. What is the cargo?
That's why I love Thrawn. He learns and he applies.
Not just a single Jedi Thrawn.
Which Jedi is he talking about?
He's talking about Ezra.
Oh,
Oh, I think I'm ahead of you guys. I'm gonna pause it for a second.
You shall be rewarded. Again.
Oh, she's leveling up, guys.
oh, good.
It's
You gonna get a
level
whiter
up.
face?
Yeah.
She had no idea this was coming.
The old ways. You are back. Your old life.
What is this, a
This
wedding?
is cool. Yeah.
She's saying I do a lot.
Your life
They can fill her up with green smoke.
They're gonna turn her into
is
Darth
so
Maul.
happy.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, Darth Maul. Yep.
Nope. Savage Opress.
Just kidding.
Now kiss.
Ooh, quiet whooshes.
Was your head smoking before you came in here?
Intense drumming.
As I
Is
say,
that what
that
you do, Dave?
scores.
You have to get your own white makeup though.
Right.
And cool hat.
Huh. That's cool. That kind of explains why she didn't look like the witches.
Because she wasn't one of them yet.
Dun dun dun.
That is a sword.
Spearmint.
She's gonna fight Ahsoka again.
Oh,
Well, she says no.
ooh, that's fancy.
Blade of Talzin. Nice.
Might need a hot pad.
Blade of Talzin. Mother Talzin.
Ooh.
What is it made of?
Cortosis?
Whoa,
Magic.
magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they got enough room to fly out of there?
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, Chris. When are we gonna do our Blade of Talzin collab video
Now we're gonna have to get that.
unboxing?
Mhm.
Oh, what a cool scene.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Damn. I just love that
Oh, that's
visual
right. This is
Thrawn.
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
This isn't the Thrawn show.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Ding, ding.
The Jedi,
Oh
the
my
Witch, and the
God.
Warlord.
I swear I'm still ahead of you guys.
The witch and the
I don't know how it happens.
They're just creeping along.
Yeah, I guess.
Just moseying on down with my starship.
Hu Yang is probably extra happy. Oh, good.
Another blaster saber.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Blade was too narrow.
Yeah, I have been teaching younglings how to construct lightsabers longer than you've been alive.
That's great. I don't have time for that.
The blade emitter is too narrow. Is a jab at the way the blades looked in Rebels.
And Rebels. Yep, I thought that too.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Why? I did the first time. I love Hu Yang.
Well, they brought up his name. Yep, I am like 2 seconds ahead of you again.
Yeah. He was my master. Tell me everything I know. What? Of course. How could you know? Me?
Almost every time in the jail, including your master. I was very curious. Charming.
How old are you?
Old enough to know that the relationship between a master and an apprentice is as challenging as it is meaningful.
Oh.
Oh.
That's like her and Ahsoka.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
That's just good writing.
That's Kanan's. Yeah.
It rhymes.
It's like poetry. That's awesome. I'm glad
That's
they did
cool.
that.
Thank you, V8.
Aw, that's awesome.
You got a
This is
little
going to
bit
be
of
great
Rebel
when I
sand
get
plate.
home.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, he's got a
no.
blue saber.
I'm not igniting it until we get in our galaxy. Oh no!
Oh, wait, I did.
Miss Bing, Ahsoka ever teach you how to?
Hey, man, she pulled one of those Batman things.
She is a Jedi.
Oh man, she's gone.
What happened between those two?
So that's what it's like.
I missed.
I'm under inbred that Sabine was training as a Jedi. Long reasons after what happened.
Which was?
At the end of the war, the Empire launched the entire surface.
Night of 1,000 Tears.
Hundreds of thousands.
And
Were all lost. Ahsoka felt that if Sabine
Oh,
unlocked
that's
her
why she left.
she would become dangerous.
She does kind of dabble to the dark side. So.
Oh yeah.
Nah, who cares?
But I mean, Ezra did too.
Mustard, please.
He did.
Or relieved. Anything else? Again, Ada. So you know. I do.
Another I do.
Welcome, Sierra. Sierra's here. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
We're watching now. Oh, Sabine's on the screen, Sierra.
Better hurry up.
Don't get her angry, Chris.
You might not have. I can choose a different. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
yeah,
Yeah, just Ahsoka's still smiling. That's awesome. It's like all under control.
I know.
For years, I've made my share of difficult choices. Often no one understood my reasons. Except my master. And
Did I ever tell you about the time that I got into a drug trading ring with these two sisters?
It's spice. It's not drugs.
that's why. No matter what happens,
Oh,
you're going to be there.
good job, Ahsoka.
And get Ezra home.
Yeah,
Yeah. I promise.
he's totally getting home.
Have you kept up with the training?
I try. I do.
Another I do.
I have gained better control over my lightsaber. I'll tell you a secret. Being a Jedi is as powerful as any lightsaber. It helps, especially in our situation.
Train your mind. Train your body. Trust.
Deep. I get it.
Have we done a metachlorian count on her yet?
Negative 20.
One single midichlorian. His name is Greg.
They fly now?
Nice.
They fly
They fly
now.
They fly now. Yeah.
Oh,
Save the
Why wasn't
turtles.
Hunang watching the radar?
Yeah, right?
Because he knows nobody will listen to him anyway.
Shoot first, not the engines that way.
Oof.
What would I need?
Jeez.
Nice.
That guy had a crack on his face mask on his
Mhm.
helmet. Wonder if that's significant. Not anymore.
Uh-oh. Man, they took that ship out
Wow,
quick.
okay.
Crash my ship.
Yeah.
Well, there goes our ride.
We'll just talk to Mando. We'll just borrow the razor crest.
Oh, too soon. Sorry, I
Remember
broke
when I
the
said
ship.
don't worry about your choices? I've got a problem with this one.
But Ahsoka still smiled at that.
Got him.
Yeah, Ahsoka's like not bothered by anything.
Yeah, I love it. She's just trusting the Force.
Mhm.
Right? Damn, Ahsoka. Great mentality.
Ever since the World Between Worlds, she's a different person, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Result. The successful strike when the Jedi shuttle was reported, but when we lost contact with the flight group.
An acceptable outcome. Consider all of the TIE fighters lost. Mark their captain for citation.
As you wish, Grand Admiral.
Show me the reported location of the attack. As soon as the military is done, the offers which are now severely limited, if not impossible, which is why we should prepare for ground assault. Immediately.
He didn't want to go after him when he was by himself, but now
Yeah.
something's not adding up.
Because now he can just punch and leave.
Ooh, we got some
Right.
howlers back.
Like, even if he doesn't take him out, he can damage him enough so he can't follow him.
And also with you.
Yes.
Go now. That's none.
Those are the volunteers.
Yes.
They were made aware.
What? Oh, to make the sacrifice. You.
It is for the security of our galaxy.
Oh, good.
Wow.
The
Okay.
security of our galaxy.
So you haven't told him about the Empire falling yet?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Ugh.
I forget to give him that message.
Yeah. There's one thing, Thrawn, I need to tell you.
Hey, how's it going?
We'll talk about
Whoa,
it later.
whoa, whoa. They got the whole ring
We'll
down
discuss
on the planet now, too?
Yep.
All right.
Peppering this guy longer.
Hey, they already had a problem with the Star Destroyer being down on the planet. Why not IS Ion?
I guess.
All right, Edward. Any idea of what we're up against?
Thrawn found this place. Walk with the witches, rebuild the starship.
Okay.
What the state coming along?
Well, you're not alone anymore. That's fun.
Sabine didn't look happy about that.
Mm-mm.
You're gonna...
Yeah, let's try the front door.
All right, we've done 50 laps. Anyone see the front door?
Yeah.
Sabine looks much happier about that.
Negotiating with the officers.
So glad she's wearing her helmet.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
Nice.
Has Sierra said anything about her helmet?
Hellfire.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Wow. They are getting really lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, Sabine get help. She's still can't even move a cup of coffee.
Are we going to get a shot with all three of them igniting their lightsabers inside the door?
Wait, why isn't she telling Sabine to help out?
I do that every time I go into a store.
Hey, wow. Oh, no.
Almost.
I did it, Ahsoka. Did you see that? I did it. I opened the door.
Yeah, sure
Yes.
you did.
Ugh.
Good job, buddy.
Pick the wrong rate to stop sniffing glue.
Nice.
Is Shane going to show up during this?
The music.
There you go. That's kind of a weird way to do it, but we got all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, switching it up. I like that.
It would have been better if it was like completely dark and they ignited them in the dark at the same time. That would have been great. You're better with blasters.
Nice. Awesome.
That was cool.
We have no qualm
That
about
was cool.
killing people.
Am I overly picky that Ahsoka never holds her lightsabers down?
Yeah.
The cartoon, she always did.
Yeah, she always did.
Are they going to
Never
rise
held
up?
them up. She
Are
held
the
them
Great
down.
Mother's going to rise them from the dead?
Probably.
Yep. Yep. Just called it, Keith.
Yes.
There we go. Oh,
Oh, well, they just have to kill him again.
yep. I deal with a whole bunch of Merricks.
This never happened before.
I thought you said the numbers had dwindled.
I'm waiting for one of the stormtroopers to like just sit down and have an existential crisis.
Now they can
There
hit their
was
targets.
nothing.
Yeah.
There was no after force.
Now they're sharpshooters. Star Wars zombies.
Yep.
They got zombies now. They got zombies now. Yeah, they already did. Thanks.
Brains.
Brains.
So apparently you can't get them again because they're taking them out, but they're not going down.
Do they just keep coming back to life after they're killed again?
Yeah, I think they're just.
Yeah.
Hit them with the stick.
Oh,
She's been training.
I was really hoping they'd be counting the people they took out.
How long did it take them to build that platform?
Yeah.
I don't know.
12 years, really?
The little one's not figuring it out.
For the
Oh
Empire.
no.
Sacrifice
Rematch.
yourself.
Leaving her.
Mm.
Yep.
Do you?
Is she gonna cry? I thought she was gonna start crying.
The Empire's got the worst benefits package.
Right. Just got these powers and I can't even use them.
I was like, "Hey, we gave you the sword. What do you want?"
Right.
It's a carton of
It's great
chocolate
when I
milk.
It's great when I was pilfering all those resources from that planet. This ain't so good.
Yeah. I don't like the way this turned out. Don't forget about Shin Hachi.
Man, these zombies are resourceful.
It's better than when they were alive.
Okay. I think that might actually be better than regular stormtroopers.
You think the
There are a
mothers,
lot
the
of doors on
mothers
this.
are
Oh.
Can they just not push the buttons?
That was cool.
Well, then they'd be reopenable.
Round 2.
Must
Yeah.
stop wrong.
Myself.
Ooh, pincer move. Maybe not. Should have listened to Hu Yang. Stay together.
Never listen to Hu Yang.
I know, right?
Ezra should have used the blaster part of his lightsaber and shot it in the back.
So that's got to be made of Beskar, right?
No, magic.
or some material from this galaxy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Magic.
Something that's reflecting lightsabers.
Adamantium.
Remember Balin?
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah, right? Where is he?
Where is he?
Where is he? He will be the after credit scene, and then we won't ever get to see him again.
I hope not.
I hope
That
not
would be
either.
terrible.
Hey, we saw this in the trailer.
Hey, you remember how somehow Palpatine returned? Balin made him return.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
There's a theme from the trailer.
Yep, here we go.
We'll be leaving in moments.
In moments. Yeah, Chillbot.
Yep. Thanks, Chillbot. Oh, dang.
Wow.
Oh, it's even a zombie on the inside, for crying out loud.
Yep.
Beans.
Dang.
He deteriorated quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of the stormtroopers already are brought back.
That's
Yeah.
true. Good point.
Just when all is lost.
You see Ezra, he's like, nice.
He's a Jedi!
That's awesome. See, they did that perfectly.
I'm
By
glad they
having her
waited.
not be able
So
to do it at first.
badass. So badass.
Yeah.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Ah!
Now this is pod racing.
I want to see the helmet hopping after him now.
Be like the
You
thing.
can do it.
Tentacles crawl out of it.
Hey, there you go, Rob.
Yeah, I saw. She switched.
There you go, yeah.
She heard you. That's why.
Or is she just spinning them?
And close the door. Are they out there just to wave to him?
She's gonna force
Force
push.
pull him out of the ship.
Mhm.
Whoa.
You don't have time?
Okay, now it's too far.
He's gonna make it home, you guys.
Uh-oh. Nice. Oh.
But they had the high ground.
They fly now?
Maybe Ahsoka's gonna be left behind.
Yep.
Don't you know by now, Ahsoka always
again.
finds a way to get out of things.
Well, hopefully Hu Yang will have their ship fixed pretty quick. Oh, no. Just take her out already.
Shoot her!
Oh,
Why are you guys standing around?
I know, right?
Blasters, so uncivilized.
No presence.
Oh.
You'll die here. Alone.
Well, I kind of barely knew those guys anyway.
Shit.
You know, sneak attack probably would have been more effective there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of announcing it.
Less dramatic.
Look, nobody said she was
Like an
smart.
Avengers moment. She's not alone.
So Ezra's the only one making it back to the galaxy. That's
Yeah,
poetry.
so they did their job. You broke my other lightsaber. You're going down.
Damn.
It was the short one, though. She's okay with it.
Oh!
Oh,
She's
she
gonna
did it with her
use,
own with her own weapon.
Dang. Dang.
Ahsoka's a master thief.
Yeah.
She is.
Well, she wasn't a
Oh,
great
that's
mother for
perfect.
long. See you, Ezra.
Oh, is he gonna switch into the stormtrooper outfit?
Because that's what he does, right?
Aren't you a little
Yeah.
short? Be a stormtrooper.
My name's Java.
That's right.
No, he'd Lando.
Oh, God. He really is. He really is going to put the. Okay. Whatever.
You know, Sabine's jetpack would really come in handy right now.
Does she not have it? No, she doesn't have it with her, does she?
She doesn't.
Well, you got to earn that. Just got to choose you.
She's been a Mandalorian for a long time. She came from a very high house.
Did it
You'd think
choose
she'd
her?
have one.
It has to choose her, remember? According to
Right.
Mandalorian.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, that's just overdoing it.
I think I got one.
Yang to the rescue.
I think I got one.
Yu Yang!
Called it.
Oh,
See, that's what I mean. It took so long to build that platform, and they just knock it all down when they leave. That's wrong, man. You think
Now,
they're
Are
gonna
they
get
going to
into
pull
the
the
hangar?
Millennium
Get to
Falcon
the
and
ring?
attach?
They're gonna fly into the hangar of the destroyer. What do you think?
They're going to attach on the outside.
yep. Dock near the trash.
Like Han Solo.
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh,
music.
look at that music! Oh
Mhm.
hell yeah!
I'm digging it. All right, let's fly some bones. Wow, they moved fast.
Over the check.
Yeah, they're just gonna miss it.
You don't get me any more power.
It just got it flying.
Oh yeah.
because I knew your master.
Oh.
Traditional strategies will be taken. Just how simple this is such a human. The elixir is mine. Long live the Emperor.
Damn. That's awesome.
Shit. Got any space whales nearby?
Yeah. Now what?
What a pisser.
All right, find me a Purgle.
Right?
It's like Uber out there, right?
Ezra's still on the ship, so Ezra did get home.
Yep, Ezra's still
Yep.
on the ship.
Wow.
Mission accomplished.
Time to return to the merchandise.
What are you guys doing back?
I mean, they're both smiling, so I guess they're okay with everything.
I guess it's going to be up to Hera and Chopper now.
And Ezra.
Yeah. If Ezra is able to actually put that stormtrooper armor to good use and sneak his way up.
Hey.
We're not going to get that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably not.
Hey,
there's
there's the owl. Sweet.
Yep.
Labyrinth.
Oh, nice.
Cool transition there.
Is there a world beyond worlds entrance? She can.
There's Shin Hati. I think she's gonna go in there and kill them all.
Oh, that looks like the father.
Here's Balin. All right.
Yep.
That's his father.
That's the father.
Oh, yes. Mortis.
Mortis' son.
The son. Oh, dang.
Oh.
There's Mortis' son.
Yup.
He's looking the right way according to the statue.
Is that Dathomir?
That's what he was after all this time.
Here's the red planet.
Called it.
Yep.
That's a cool shot.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool shot.
Like, who's back? Who's got two thumbs in his back? This guy.
Oh.
Ezra.
Yep.
Oh,
You're
very
exactly right.
You don't need your armor here.
Yeah.
Why aren't they shooting already?
Right.
Look at them all.
Choppers.
Oh.
I got to kill myself. Oh, the ghost ship right there on the left.
Have I killed you yet?
Yes, King.
Oh, it's Ezra.
No way.
Who would have thought?
That's totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it was. He could have taken the helmet off before he got off the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe once he started flying.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really Ezra?
Oh my God, guys. This Ezra has converted to Thrawn. Now he's on the inside. And that's why they left the other ones behind. And
All part of the plan.
It's all part of Thrawn's plan. He's with Thrawn.
Love it when a plan
That would
comes
be
together.
That would be something.
Almost out.
They're gonna find a red lightsaber.
I'm gonna win.
It's not Ezra.
He did. I feel it.
That's where he needs to be. Is that what we need?
It is likely that John Davis, the game taking place in April 2006, would be his 2 games will take place.
yeah. They have to stay there to battle Balin and Shin.
Too bad we won't get to do that.
Balance will be at risk.
Actually, if Balin becomes the father, won't he have authority over Ahsoka?
He would, yes.
Hmm.
Felt like
Shadows in the starlight.
nothing.
Ezra's still here.
Daddy?
Oh,
It's music.
hey.
Star Wars doesn't. Oh, that Anakin there. Cool.
What murders?
Now, Star Wars doesn't have after credit scenes.
They sometimes do.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
We'll know they do if we don't go to the like the
Small
Mandalorian
screen.
and see. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't wait for the next episode.
I know, right? Next
Ah.
Tuesday, right?
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna have any.
Well, you guys called it. There's kind of a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's one heck of a cliffhanger too. Jeez.
Yeah, you can't just leave Ahsoka out in a different galaxy. So
Well,
Well-
you kind of just did.
It's a
She's meant to be
cliffhanger.
there. The Force willed it. She needs to be there to stop Balin's plan.
Right. So does anybody need
Then
a
she-
quick break before we get into it? Yeah. All right. Let's
Okay,
take like
good
a
idea.
1 minute break, and then we'll talk about the end here.
All right.
Oh.
Right.
Well, we gotta see if they have that after credits scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is one.
No, I just skipped through.
Yeah, there isn't one. I skipped through.
All right, 1 minute.
1 minute. We'll be right back. Boom.
I'm just like,
You guys hearing something squeaking?
Yeah.
John was very weak after this. Well, I used to let that stop him from continuing to work on the stage. Amazing, crazy, but I gotta admire his work ethic. Just like you should admire my work ethic. He buy his merch. You click the link, and I think it was all Lynn and Amanda were out arguing in the next room.
Oh, it's Dave.
I'm back.
Hey, Dave, we hear the TV or whatnot.
Is it too loud?
Yeah.
Even with the door closed?
Oh, now, yeah. It's fine.
Unless
Okay.
unless you have a video playing on your computer or something.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
I have us. That's it.
It's just us. Okay. All right, everybody, welcome back for the After Watch Party reaction review with Not Your Status Quo and Attack on Show. So,
Hey, that rhymes.
woo,
It's like poetry.
It does. It is. That's amazing. It was meant to be, guys. That we're here to So, let's open it up. Keith, what did you think?
I enjoyed it.
Finale.
I mean, it was a little bit anticlimactic almost, but I think we all kind of expected that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was hoping for maybe something a little more unexpected, but I do
Same.
like where things ended. I mean, I like where this can go after this. You know, we had some good battles. The zombie troopers were pretty cool. Morgan
Yeah.
Elsbeth's sword was really tight. I mean, there was some good to this, but I do think my initial reaction is just a little bit of disappointment. It seemed a bit
I agree.
underwhelming.
Yep. I think that's like the key theme for me is like everything was a little of what I expected. And yeah, well, it under-delivered a little bit. Rob E., what are your thoughts? Initial thoughts?
I'm along the same lines. I think
Yeah.
I had issues with last week's episode because last week was very anticlimactic, and I was trying to put in the text last week to explain it with I used swipe on my phone. I had so many typos I gave up. But to me, the second to the last finale, the second to last episode of a season is supposed to be the big climax. That's why I kept writing like Game of Thrones when you think of Battle of the Bastards. Like you get those huge action sequences in that second to last episode, so you can use the next episode to be a setup. They didn't do it last week, and this one was very anticlimactic too. And I struggle with like Ahsoka fighting, and I'm sorry, the witch, like Ahsoka's so powerful. And I have a hard time taking those fights serious when I know they have to make a challenge for her. And like Baylan, I can stomach, but you just had her in episode 5 take on Anakin. And we've seen her take on way more powerful people that like, these should be kind of easy, like walkthroughs for her. And like, it takes me out of it knowing the character so much that like, this shouldn't be this much of a struggle for her. But yeah, I feel like they left, way more hanging. I kept telling myself, I'm like, this is going to end where Thrawn's just going to leave. Like, we won't get these huge twists. That's why I was trying to stay away from the theories. They seem to just really be simplifying the narrative where it's like, okay, like that was the big buildup, was to find Thrawn, and Thrawn comes back. Like, that was this season in a nutshell. And I kind of struggle with it.
Yeah, it ends up being just set up for what's coming next, more so than what this finale was all about. And the thing that bothers me the most, and this wouldn't have bothered me if this wasn't the case, but we're not going to get any more Ray Stevenson. He's sadly passed, and I thought that we would get some sort of conclusion to his character this season, and now that we know that he's just out there and he's on this quest, how are they going to take this on forward?
I think, a great suggestion, Gerard Butler. Like, I could see him filling that
to
role.
recast him.
That's it could be a good casting. I could see that for sure.
They're going to have to recast.
Yeah,
they are.
That's too big of a plot thread to just leave unresolved.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe we'll get the CGI Ray Stevenson so he can finish the.
That's what I'm saying.
No, please do not do that.
I'm kidding. AI CGI Ray Stevenson.
You are kidding, right?
Yes, of course I am.
Yeah. So, Dave, what were your thoughts? Initial thoughts and reaction?
Yeah, I wasn't overly excited during any part of the show. It was like you said, it was kind of predictable. Even when they all showed up and they were just fighting, it was like it's what you expected them to do. It wasn't anything amazing. It's even when she was fighting Morgan Elsbeth, it was like, all right, this is what's supposed to happen. I wasn't amazed by anything. But don't get me wrong, I still love the episode. It was just not. It was not a 10. It was like an 8. Not a 10. When you're hoping for a 10 after all the season build up, and you're right.
Yeah.
If you think about it, A New Hope had a very simple plot, and like you said, this one had a very simple plot. They go to get Ezra back, and Thrawn comes back. That was the whole thing, and that's what they needed to set up for whatever they're doing next. If they, hasn't been announced, they need to do something next. What's next? You know what I mean?
What is next? So Doug, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same as all of you guys. I hate to sound, like a broken record or, beat a dead horse with a lightsaber over here. But like, I mean, yeah, I wasn't. I can maybe count on one hand the amount of times that I had like an excited reaction at this episode. It was there's a couple of moments that I was like, oh, that was kind of neat. Oh wow, like killing Morgan, I was like, oh wow. But I do have to agree with you, Rob. Like I have to try and explain away in my mind, like, well, I guess she had a magic sword, but I think back to the first time that they fought, and it almost seemed like Ahsoka was just screwing with her, you know?
Yeah.
the way she's like, oh, okay, yeah, you've got a Beskar spear, so what? Big deal. Like I can trounce you. I'm pretty sure Ahsoka did not take their first fight seriously. This one, yeah, it was weird how it seemed like she struggled and even lost a lightsaber. And she's supposed to be actually a powered up Ahsoka now.
Right.
True.
Chris, your video, Ahsoka the White.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess I would have expected more out of that fight. Generally, for the most part in this series, so far I've praised their use of little Easter eggs and little fun things from Star Wars. But tonight, I think the Stormtrooper armor, bit much, bit over the top, unnecessary. That was kind of like cringy. It was clearly for that, all 5 of the Ezra fans from Rebels.
Because he liked the Stormtrooper armor. He liked to collect the helmets in Rebels. So
Look what Ezra did. He's wearing the armor again.
I know, and it made sense that he would put it on to get away, to leave the ship and everything else.
Yeah.
But to come out there in the armor, it's like that. You're just putting yourself in harm's way for no reason. So it kind of jumps the ship or.
Well, the suspense build up, like we're the audience. When you build those scenes, it's to trick the audience. We knew what all of that was, so that was completely unnecessary.
Completely.
I don't know who they were trying to.
I don't know.
I have to wonder, and I'm curious what you all think. Would it have helped this series if they would have given it more episodes, or do you think it was the right amount?
No. Yeah.
I feel they dragged this narrative. I'm like overall as this season, and I've really loved Filoni and I've really hyped them up over the years. But overall, this series is a disappointment. Like to me, like they should have gotten to Thrawn by like episode 3, and then they should have gotten to the Mortis storyline, right? I mean, there's so much that they can tell. They wasted so much time on this narrative that more episodes. I'm really afraid what they would do with it. I mean, I don't know. It's really. I don't know. I'm frustrated right now.
Why are they saving all of their exciting elements for other stuff? It's like, we get the setup for this stuff. We see the father at the end and the son, the statue and all that stuff, and setting up Mortis. And it's just like, why couldn't that have been the focal point of the show? It's like, I want to see what's coming next. I don't really want to see what you're doing in this episode. It's like...
It would have actually worked better if the reason they couldn't get to the ships and Thrawn gets back by himself was because they were battling, Balin. I'm just calling Thrawn, battling Balin and stopping him from trying to ascend to a Mortis god, and have that, instead of, we're going to throw a couple ties at him and then some stormtroopers and they're just going to make their way back. It really seemed like a missed opportunity to delve in to get deeper into what I think would have been the best part of this season was Balin doing that, Shin taking over looking like Shin's going to rule the little Shogun rebels.
Yeah, what is she doing? Yeah.
She's going to be their boss. And
they're going to need a leader.
There's a lot of potential for what's next, but they wasted almost the entire season just getting to what's next.
And I'm sorry, do they have Ronin in the Star Wars universe? Anybody else kind of thrown off when Thrawn said that?
When he
it's
said
a universal
Ronin,
term.
So
isn't it a rogue samurai?
Yeah, it's a rogue samurai, but it's basically what a Jedi
there's
is.
A space Japan with space samurai.
Apparently, the visions might be canon, I guess.
Canon, yeah. I do really like the
visions, it's right over there from Space Boston.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, even some editing technique or like some timeline. I would love to see Star Wars get creative on doing things like start with Balin at that last scene on the Mortis cliff and saying what is going on, because you don't get that huge reveal at the end of this episode. I was waiting for Ezra, like some sort of he is actually evil. Like give us that reveal and leave us hanging now for another season of what's he going to do on the inside. The biggest cliffhanger they could come up with is that Thrawn somehow returned and. It's so straightforward. It's like play with the timeline narrative, have us guessing, and then a core reveal would have been like, oh, this isn't a linear timeline. I think you could have pulled a Westworld, but you could have advanced the Balin Mortis timeline throughout this narrative. and advance that further. I feel
Yeah. And it's going to be so long before we get anything else or any resolution to this story. We need to have been more excited for what comes next. And I don't feel like that this show has earned that much excitement for what comes next. I'm not like, ooh, I can't wait to see this resolved. I mean, I'm curious about the Mortis stuff, but it just wasn't enough for this episode.
And knowing what the viewer rate numbers are, it makes me really nervous. I mean, season 2 is not greenlit, so the viewer numbers weren't that low. I can't see myself going back to rewatch this, and I don't know that people who waited to watch till it's all out will be really blown away by this to say can't wait for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I might go see a part 5 again. That's such a beautiful episode, and for me, that's the pinnacle of this whole season.
Yeah,
was that episode, and it's kind of been a downward trajectory from there. Unfortunately, I was really hoping for this finale to bring us back up. I'm like, well, last week's episode was a little slower. That's okay with me. I enjoyed that because we got this finale to go into, and this is going to exceed my expectations. And nope, that's not what we got, I guess.
I mean, think of the timeline jump where you had the Balin. If you mix all that up, you could have made episode 5 the finale of thinking that she's dead. She fights, Anakin and learns, and then you're like, oh crap, what are we getting out of this now? And then that you would be excited for, to see a new powerful Ahsoka. But we went through all that, and then Ahsoka still can't really beat anybody. There isn't any stronger for it, and it just all seems like a letdown. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just more laid back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, cool. I'm glad you're smiling, but can you go back to fighting? Good.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point there, and I think that brings up the idea that they kind of completed her story arc mid-season, and so she was just there for the rest of it. Didn't actually help her out too much, and if they would have focused more on Ahsoka this whole time in that story arc of her trying to deal with coming from a master who turned to the dark side and destroyed the galaxy pretty much with Darth Vader, I think that would have been a more interesting, maybe a more fulfilling season altogether, if that's where we ended. So, yeah, good point.
Well, there's so much time from Rebels to this. I feel like there's a gap in time that they could have told an Ahsoka standalone story too to build into this. So at least establish a live-action Ahsoka for the fans who don't know the cartoons.
Yeah.
And make people interested in her and like the character, and then start bringing these characters in, start expanding on this story.
Yeah, they're not cartoons. They're animated series. Okay?
Animated series. But I mean, if you think of Rebels, Rebels did that perfectly because Rebels was the unofficial sequel to Clone Wars after season 1, where you got to see Rex, you got to see Ahsoka brought in. I mean, you've got a lot of closure to those storylines that you were upset when Clone Wars got canceled. I feel like they should have done that season to build Ahsoka up here to the live action audience and give her own character and definition before just making it a Rebels extra season.
Yeah. I can't disagree with you there, Robbie. So, oh, man. But one of the shining things about this whole series for me that I have to highlight is Kevin Kiner's amazing score.
Oh, my God.
Just
when they got into outer space there at the end? Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So classic.
He is, I want him to take over all the projects now. I love Ludwig Göransson. Before he did an amazing score with The Mandalorian. Joseph Shirley took over for him for Book of Boba Fett. But Kevin Kiner, man, he is showing why he is the one to take over for Star Wars. And I can't wait to get the second volume of this soundtrack, too. So there is that. I got that.
Yeah. No, when they were fighting the stormtroopers, when they brought them back like that, it was reminiscent of Duel of the Fates. He brought in the choir, that was amazing.
That was amazing. I love how he is able to incorporate all these little motifs that bring you back and make you feel something too. So he did his damnedest to make us enjoy this episode and the series as a whole too. So
right at the right moment,
tip of the cap.
Everything, all the music at the very right moment it needs to be. It is.
Mm-hmm.
He's did a great job. 100%.
Now,
absolutely great job.
Absolutely.
Getting low on my drink.
You guys are close.
Are you guys ready for a little silver lining?
Yeah.
Sure.
Keith, bring us in to some silver lining.
We talked about it earlier. And we know that Filoni really gets cooking in the second season of things.
Yeah.
I stopped watching the Clone Wars in the middle of the first season because I was like, don't care. This is going nowhere. And my nephews
It was pretty bad
were
animation. also.
Robbie
like-
was shocked.
He's like, my nephews, like in the middle of the third season, were like, you need to start watching this again. I'm like, okay. And I got through that first season. Then I was like hooked. And I think that unfortunately, I think it's a bad choice here because I think it really leaves a bad taste in people's mouth with how this ended with so many open, threads that we got working here. It was very anticlimactic today, same as last week. And they may lose people, but I think if we get a season 2, like Rob said, this numbers have not been overwhelming that we've seen because, with streaming, they don't really release numbers all the time. They keep them to themselves a lot. But if we do get a second season, I think it is going to cook. And I think Filoni made a mistake of not adding a lot of that into the first season because he may lose people and you may not get a second season if you don't get everybody in. If this would have been a powerful ending, like maybe Balin ascending to that, Mortis godhood, the father, to keep control of the son and the daughter, and then ending it there, we might have been all a little more excited. But Thrawn escaping to the galaxy, which we all knew, and then unfortunately, the terrible Ezra scene, why he didn't just have the helmet off when he came off that ship saying, please don't shoot me. I know I'm in an Imperial ship and I'm wearing Stormtrooper armor with some gold in it. Have you guys seen this before? It's really cool.
Right.
And we didn't find out what was in the boxes. I mean, somewhere.
What's in the
Brad Pitt
box?
is going,
What's in the box? Gwyneth
Just way
Paltrow's
too
head,
many things
everybody.
open. We didn't. It's almost like Lost. I
was thinking the same thing. I had the same exact thought. It felt just like Lost.
Yeah. That's probably why it left a bad
resolution.
taste in my mouth.
Guys,
Because
if
Lost did
She-Hulk gets a second season, Ahsoka's got to get a second season. This was so much better than She-Hulk.
I mean, the Mortis gods, those statues are going to mean nothing to so many people. That's the scary part is that we, I mean, have that knowledge, but there's so many people that turned off this show already because they didn't know half what was going on. Like that is not a cliffhanger for the general audience. Again, I agree with you, Keith, where it's like get further, at least show him meeting the father and the father doing the cool thing from Clone Wars of just closing the lightsaber with his hand and saying, who is that guy? And end it. Like just some way of letting people in on these characters, but they're just assuming everyone knows this. And it's a scary, that's a risk.
You do it that way, and people will go back and watch the Mortis God episodes of the Clone Wars and everything else. With this, they're like, oh, it's a giant statue. What is he, a Jedi or something? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's great for me because I get to make a new video about this. So what are the Mortis gods? Great. Friday.
That's what,
check it out.
In Lord of the Rings, that's what the statues were doing. The same thing, just pointing out, right?
Yeah. And like throughout this series, I have commended Dave Filoni for his writing about bringing these elements in and making them sort of digestible for the general audience. But I can't say the same thing about this episode too. You're absolutely right, Robbie. Absolutely. So. I say that way too much. That, it would be jarring for a general audience member who doesn't know any of this stuff about the Mortis gods. It's like, why should they care? We didn't give them enough reason to care in this episode for that. So, yeah. I think
I wonder if there was a way that he could have found a happy medium where he could have not had to retell and re-explain everything for all the people that didn't watch Clone Wars and didn't watch Rebels, but also give just enough background, do just enough world building where you still, if you're going in fresh and like you only know the other Star Wars shows and the movies, and like you can go and you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I can gather from the details here and there. I kind of get what's going on. I wonder if maybe he would have taken some time instead of. It seems like this was mostly a passion project on his part, and he really truly did want to do a continuation exactly where he left off. It didn't seem like he thought about who the audience really was going to be other than people who had already seen his other stuff.
And I've been criticized, like I've been really tough on Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka. So I don't think she did a great job through the season, but my other fear is that this show won't make, if this was the first thing people watched, I don't know that this built any interest to go watch Clone Wars or Rebels. Like, I don't know that they really sold Ahsoka, the character, to anybody to say, that character's awesome, I want to see more of it. She was a side character in this, other than episode 5 where it showed she was cool. But like, that, I don't know. Like, I just, again, I keep saying, I wish there was something missing with Ahsoka this whole time. I've always thought Ashley Eckstein should have been cast. I thought that character was built around her, not just her voice. They take a lot of the mannerisms, they copy a lot of that into the animation. I think they should have stuck with that. You see how well it pays off with Thrawn. You see how well it pays off with Bo-Katan when they bring these characters in. I wish they would have just focused on building that Ahsoka character better, and then gotten people interested to go back and watch Clone Wars who didn't watch it. Go back and watch Rebels. Spend this downtime now researching the character because you loved it so much.
Right.
I don't know if this sold anybody. Say, I can't wait to watch 7 seasons of Clone Wars to see more about this character, and then 4 seasons of Rebels. I don't know that did that.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that they mentioned they wanted to age up Ahsoka, what was their reason for not casting Ashley Eckstein? Did anybody ever say?
I think they wanted a name. I think they were, because Ashley Eckstein wanted it. I mean, Ashley Eckstein was training when you look, when they were talking about moving this into a live action. Ashley Eckstein on social media was really hardcore training, getting in shape. I think she wanted it. I don't know. I think maybe Disney wanted a name, to sell the show. But I mean, there's never been an official word as to why she wasn't cast. She came out and said she is an actress first, and of course she would have loved to have played this character, but didn't say exactly, why she isn't.
That's exactly what I was saying a long time. I've never liked Rosario Dawson's casting. I thought she handled it better after she became Ahsoka the White, but then overall, I think that would have been the great way to go, is to have Ashley Eckstein play her. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the whole reason I love the character of Ahsoka is because of Ashley Eckstein. She brought us through all of this, and it's off of the back of Ashley Eckstein that we have an Ahsoka show. That's bar none. She needed to at least be a part of this, and I'm really sad that she didn't even get a cameo in this or anything. So, yeah, having her given the opportunity to play this character again live action, I could say I would rather prefer that too, because she earned it. She has put in the work on this character. That is her character. And, she is so excited and enthusiastic about it. She's so great with the fans too, as you guys know, Robbie, and Doug knows that she, and as fans, I think that would have led into more excitement about the character and a lot more through line for us as Clone Wars fans too. I met
her and Tara Strong at that Comic-Con, and
Tara
Ashley
Strong's
was definitely my favorite of the two.
Yeah, I still like Tara Strong. I gotta say, Raven.
She pushed me along too quick.
Oh, she did.
Ashley actually was like talking.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the line was super long, but worth it.
That's why it was a 4-hour wait. She took her time with everybody.
She wanted to talk to everybody. She was chilling with her fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, what were your thoughts on this? I think you went around and asked us. What's your breakdown of the episode and series?
And the series as a whole. So, I kind of was sprinkling it in there. I did feel underwhelmed with this, and I felt like everything was exactly what I expected. And whenever you have a show like that where you can tell what the beats are with the story, it's like, okay, Thrawn's escaping, and we're doing this, we're doing that. Okay, they're staying like that. It kind of makes me not enjoy it as much. And for me, I said this earlier too, knowing that Ray Stevenson isn't going to come back, and the phenomenal performance that man gave as Baylan Skoll, and we're not going to get that. No matter who they cast next in that role, is not going to bring that same performance, and that just breaks my heart. I wanted closure with that character. I wanted something else to keep us enticed during this time when we're going to get nothing for years to come. What is it going to be, like 2024 or 2025 when Skeleton Crew comes on? So it's going to be a while before we get something, right?
Yeah, next is Skeleton Crew is coming first, early 2024 now. And then the Acolyte, they're saying May, June-ish, 2024.
What about
And-
the second season of Andor?
That's going to be later in 2024. I think
At some
August
point.
or September.
It's being filmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it did get affected by the strike. But back to this. Yeah, I had a lot of expectations going into this, and like I said, after part 5, you know, that was the pinnacle for me, and it just, now seeing it as a whole, you know, you see the flaws, you see what they did, and like you said, Rob E., I think that they shoehorned in a lot of the Rebels stuff. They wanted to bring that and showcase that more than anything else, and they should have made this a Ahsoka-centric show. Make it about her for this first season, and bring in those characters a little bit later, build upon that later. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. So yeah, and let's just dive into our initial ratings here with the Doug scale. So for this episode as a whole, I'm probably going to give this one, as the finale, I hate to say it, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 for me, for this episode.
For the finale?
For the finale, a 6 out of 10. And for the show as a whole, it's probably going to be a 7 out of 10 for me, for Ahsoka as a series, you know? So let's go around the room. Doug, you were the last one, so let's get yours.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, I pretty much feel the same way that you do. I was going back and forth in my head, thinking this has got to be this episode, and it could be because I hyped it up too much in my own head, and that's what's causing me to think so little of it, that I expected so much more. But I was gravitating around a 5.5 to a 6 for this episode, just because it's just maybe the slightest bit above average. Like I said, I can count on one hand the times where I was like, "Oh, that was a really cool part of this episode." But yeah, I'm gonna give it a begrudging 5.9, maybe a 6 if I'm feeling happy, feeling frisky. Right now, 5.9.
Doug, you're always upset when you begrudgingly give it a higher score than you think it deserves.
Awesome.
You're going to be angry tomorrow. I know you are.
I probably will be,
we'll
because
reevaluate tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Right on. Not Your Status Quo. We'll be going in depth more on it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna have the whole crew here.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
as far as the series as a whole, there were I think enough good episodes, enough things in it that kept me like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But I'm starting to think the overall theme of this, and you pretty much hit the nail on the head when you said it reminded you of Lost, Keith.
Yeah, that did nail it on the head, Keith.
Because I'm starting to realize that there were so many of those, like, oh, here's this thing that we're gonna present. Oh, but then we're gonna drop it. Like the whole thing, like everybody was guessing about Merrick. I think even Disney was guessing, like, oh, Merrick is gonna be like a way bigger deal than he turned out to be. They've got a whole Star Wars Black Series character for this guy that was in like 2 episodes and got cut down and turned into green smoke. So like, there's like so many of these things that they're like, okay, here we go. Here's the big mystery. Okay, that's boring. Let's move on to the next thing.
Right.
So I guess for the series as a whole, 7.
No, don't say it.
Yeah, I'm feeling a 7.
I'm feeling a 7 too. Okay, Dave, it's your time to shine. What's your rating?
This episode here.
Your time to shine. Hello.
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 This episode tonight, I think Doug was right. I was expecting so much more, and it was my fault that it didn't live up to it. I should always just expect nothing and be happy with what I get. So on that note, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 for this episode. I mean, I liked it, but you're all very convincing with your arguments against. So yeah, there was still
tonight, guys.
There was still a lot to be desired. Well, before the show, we were all praising it.
Are we Star Wars theory now?
Oh
my God!
No, we're just really good at peer pressuring Dave.
Awesome.
But
Dave, we're gonna go steal some catalytic converters after this. You in?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna sit in my driveway with a gun. Overall, the series for me still it's above both of you guys, which is weird because I'm usually the low end of the rating scale, but I'm gonna give it 7.5, mainly because
I mean, we're all kind of around there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka's like one of my. I mean, there's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's my favorite Star Wars character.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Luke, and then Ahsoka is definitely right there. And the way, even with like this show, I mean, let's just say it this way: the Obi-Wan show didn't ruin my opinion of Obi-Wan, and this show doesn't hurt my opinion of Ahsoka. I think we should definitely get another season of Ahsoka and see where it goes. But 7.5 overall for the season.
Excellent. Okay, Robbie, what's your rating?
I'm gonna come in lower. I'd say the episode. I'm gonna say a 4. It was anticlimactic. I never felt at risk. I never thought Thrawn was ever even at risk of not coming back. Like they didn't even present like a true threat for anybody on the series. And I think again, I keep basing this off just knowing what Filoni is capable of. A real letdown. So the series, I mean, I would even just go. It's unfair if you take out episode 5. I'd give the series a 4. You put episode 5 in it, and like to me, that bumps it like 6.5. Like 5 is really the only thing worth watching if you were to go back and hit play on this series. So I think like it's kind of a skewed score because 5's carrying all the weight.
Because 5 was so impressive. Yeah, I agree. Like because 5's in here, that's why it's a 7 for me. And it's by far the only one that I've revisited multiple times too.
And then also kind of shut off after the sequence. Like I'll be honest, I don't know that I've watched that show like that episode all the way through. I watched that whole Clone Wars sequence over and over, but then kind of like, all right, I'm done. Once that ends.
So what did you say for the full final season? Like for overall?
The season, I'd probably say a 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Keith, what's your score?
I'm probably going to be the highest of all of us, which I usually am.
Our silver lions guy. I love it.
I tend to focus on the positives.
Yeah. He's just high.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just high right now.
High as a kite, man. But
he's always having a blast.
I'm really trying to suppress my expectations to what we got in this episode. We did get some good things in this episode. I thought, the troopers rising up, we saw those great mothers showing their power, granting that power to Morgan for, pleasing them and doing what she needed to do and helping Thrawn and them escape this galaxy. I think I want to rewatch it because I want to push down my feelings of I want this to happen. I always say, don't let headcanon get in the way of your enjoyment of the episode.
That's true.
So I want to watch it again, and I probably will tomorrow before we stream tomorrow night. But, it was very anticlimactic. There was never any feeling that Thrawn wasn't going to escape, just like Robbie said.
Yeah.
I was like waiting for, something. I think it lacked that. And that was very disappointing. I think a lot of the other episodes were much, much higher than average than this one. For this episode, I'm probably going to give it I'm going to say a 5.5.
5.5.
And hopefully that'll change by tomorrow because I really love Filoni. I love Ahsoka, love Sabine. I loved Rebels, and I was looking forward to this. And I didn't want it to end on kind of a sour note, but unfortunately it did. Now, overall...
I gotta say though, Lars Mikkelsen did a fantastic job as Thrawn. I am excited to see more from him. So I like there's these elements in there, these actors that are just giving their all too in the show. So those performances are worth watching this show for. But the story itself, like you said, Keith, like in the beginning of this series, each and every episode seemed to have a good beginning, middle, and end. It seemed like a good cohesive story for each of the episodes, and then they kind of went away from that as we got further and further into the season. And it's just like, oh, okay, just cut off. All right, what are we going to next? Okay, and then so it kind of just like they focused too much, and they built up the first part of the season more than they did with the last part of this season.
Maybe a few less full body profile shots of Thrawn. Like they can do some better directing and angles to I mean, get away from that like distraction from people. But like it sounds petty, but it is a distraction when he's like just raise the camera.
You're saying that
Pete,
he
did
ate
you ever
too
get
much
your rating?
whale blubber? There.
What was
Sorry,
your
Ron,
overall
Ate too much
rating,
whale
Pete?
blubber? Yes.
Well, and see, I think I'm going to be a little higher than everybody because I'm once again I'm going to focus on the positives. We got that tremendous score from Kevin Kiner.
Yep.
I mean, we got performances from Lars Mikkelsen, from Ray Stevenson. You know, we got some awesome new characters. We got the Sabine rock and roll theme song in that first episode, which I won't soon
love that.
forget. You know, there were so many positives to the season, and I don't want my disappointment in the season 1 finale. Yes, I said season 1 finale because we're getting to season 2. I don't want that to mar me. And I'm looking at all the things. I mean, we saw Ahsoka, who has had the best character development in Star Wars between Clone Wars, Rebels, and now, with her letting go of that guilt of what happened to Anakin in this. That was so good. That's still one of my favorite all-time moments in Star Wars. And I don't want to forget that. Now, once again, they could have done more with it. I like the fact that we saw some great mothers. You know, it looks like we're going to get Dathomir kind of back. We're going to get some, Dathomir witches. Thrawn is coming back to consolidate power for the Empire. Hopefully have, I honestly thought that none of them would make it back except for Thrawn. So he could start getting that power together and getting the Shadow Council together in secret. But now, obviously, with Ezra back, he's going to, Thrawn's here. We got to start, building up. And I think we'll see that. No, Fernando, season 2 has not been approved yet. I'm just hopeful for that. But
not approved yet. No official word on that, Fernando. Welcome to the chat.
So I think for all of the positives that we've seen, I'm going to go with a 7.8 overall in the season. I am going to watch it again. At this point, I'm like, Rob, I don't want to. Because it's just like Game of Thrones. I will never rewatch Game of Thrones. I had this plan
because of the end.
When Game of Thrones was on. I'm like, when this comes out in 4K, I'm going to get all the 4K Blu-rays, and I'm going to get a giant 4K TV. I'd like just would be thinking at night, like, I can't wait to do this. And then the final season came out. It's like, screw that.
That is an excellent way to define whether or not you like a show or not, whether or not you would be willing to buy a 4K copy of it, and I'm willing to buy a 4K copy of The Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Definitely not for Book of Boba Fett. I'm on the fence right now about whether or not I would buy one for Ahsoka. So I like that.
Can I buy just the episode 5?
That's right. Can we just buy the individual episode? I would definitely buy a.
Isn't that the one they had at the theater too?
Yeah.
Yes, that
would
was
have been the one to see.
They knew.
They did know.
I tell you what, if we can buy individual episodes, just buy the 4K episodes of like the second to last 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would get those too.
Just those 2
individuals.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Jorge Aguilar actually says this is the best Star Wars show so far, so he very much enjoyed it. So Jorge says this ending felt appropriate with the show. It has high rewatchability on there, and he says this show was a 9 for me. So Jorge really did enjoy this episode. So I'm glad that folks are getting it.
Good for Jorge.
I am glad that somebody liked it that much, because then we will get another season.
Yeah,
Same. I'm very curious about the layman Star Wars fan who just generally watches these shows.
That's a good question. Jorge, did you watch the Clone Wars and Rebels?
Yeah.
Because we had somebody, and I can't remember who it was, who was basically saying this is a show for people who watch the Clone Wars and Rebels. It's not for the casual Star Wars fan. Which I definitely think is true. Oh yeah.
Very
it was,
curious to hear. Yeah, it'd be really interesting. So,
But like I said, I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to, not yet, not going to do it right away, but I think we're probably, with the writer strike and the actor strike still going on, we're probably going to have a lull in content. I mean, right now we're going to be Gen V. We got Invincible season 2 coming. We got Loki, which I'm excited for. So there's a lot coming up. But I think after that, I'll be able to have a little distance
Yeah.
from my expectations
check it
for
out
this
again?
final. I watch it through again and see where I'm at, and I'm hoping. I think it'll be a little higher.
There's also a new
wonder-
season of Virgin River out right now.
Virgin River.
Virgin River. I don't know what that
Okay.
is.
I don't know what that is either.
I can't know what you're talking about.
So I like,
Hold on.
Robbie
Hold on.
always finds the hidden gem, so
Really,
Type.
it's the worst
Don't
best show
type
you
that
can
in.
watch.
oh, that's the
Right.
one with Sean Penn, right?
No, that's a movie.
it's Mystic River.
No,
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Mystic River. Yeah, no, Virgin River is like it's. I did a thing on a review if you guys are interested, but it's like
Let's
literally
check it out,
Dawson's
guys.
Creek for us our age now who grew up watching it. It's so bad.
Oh,
It's so fun. It's so bad. It's so fun to watch.
It's
like
so
you
fun.
just Mystery Science Theater throughout the whole thing. and
Oh,
I don't
love
know.
that.
It's hard to turn off once you start.
So Keith, you're giving me an idea here too. So why don't we all come back in like about a month or so, after everything's settled down, and do an Ahsoka revisited episode where we
Ooh,
talk
I like
about our
that.
final thoughts and rewatch it, give ourselves extra time to think about it, let it simmer, and then come
I
back
like
and
it.
talk about it. Are you guys
Let's do
game?
it.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
You know, because I almost wonder if
Yeah.
this show would work better in more of a binge format. Because I said
Yeah.
before that, for
talked
instance,
about
like
this.
the last episode before this one,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of the way that it played. I felt like
Yeah.
it was a smaller piece of a larger group. Like, I don't know. So maybe I would have higher ratings for some of these episodes
Right.
if I was watching them back to back, almost
As a whole.
because I feel like maybe that was the way it was intended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true
the
that.
last
So too, Doug.
episode, the only thing anyone ever talked about after it was C-3PO and Anthony Daniels being back for it. But no, like there was never
Yeah.
anything about how
Yeah.
exciting the storyline was, and it just seemed like they kind of purposely spaced out some of those. Oh, look, and I mean, like the last episode, it's like we get it. Anakin is around. Like I'm almost to the point now too, where it's like that was the big like you're gonna throw him in there
I
again.
know.
It's just like oh,
I wasn't even
it's-
excited
What do we
about
do
that.
now? Oh, let's throw
Yeah.
Anakin in the background. That'll
Yeah.
make it exciting again. It's like
I don't know.
oh,
Anytime you throw Hera in there, I'm excited.
Yeah, you are.
That's a different kind of excited, Dave.
like I don't
Oh,
want him
yeah.
to be a crutch. I don't. I you know,
No.
Anakin's a special character, and
Yeah.
it was purposely. It was fine for 5. The last episode when they did the training, that was up to me because I thought that was from the Tales of the Jedi, and
It
he had
was.
long hair training her,
Mhm.
and that so something didn't seem right when they like he was in his clone like earlier Clone Wars outfit, but the training
Yeah.
he was given in that video was from Tales of the Jedi when he had her fighting the stormtroopers. I thought so. His hair would have been longer.
They spaced it out over the years. So in that Tales of the Jedi, he did start off with his
Yeah.
shorter hair. It was like right after she took her initial lightsaber trials.
But I thought he was saying like you've been training years for that. Like I thought the speech was tailored to where it was the later. I don't know. But you're right. I forgot they did do the she got knocked out, woke up,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
was there. So it could have been that time frame. But I just like I don't want it to become such a crutch that
No.
let's just throw Anakin. There's not much going on in this
Right,
episode.
yeah.
Let's
See,
talk
I'm
about-
hoping Anakin showed up just to reaffirm this is where the Force needs you, and
Yeah,
that's the
they kind
only
of
reason he
yeah.
appeared. Because
Yeah.
Sabine was kind of like, "Oh man, now we're stuck here. What's going to happen?" And
Well,
Ahsoka was like, "It's okay. This is
we're
where we
supposed
need to be."
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to have taken over for the Mortis, the father? Like
There you
know,
go.
that's
Maybe
what
that
I'm curious.
plays
Is
into
that
it.
why he's there? Because wasn't
Mhm.
the idea that he's the father, Ahsoka's the daughter,
Daughter.
and we don't quite know where the brother is. So
Ooh. Yeah.
Um,
Maybe Sabine is going to end up being the brother figure because she has dabbled in the dark, and they kind of hinted at that a little bit in this last episode.
Well, what do you guys think? Was that last Anakin thing? Was that Kathleen Kennedy's contribution to this show?
I doubt it.
No,
Because it's
I don't
corny and because it's like,
yeah.
maybe that's
I
her
know.
contribution because it didn't work.
What?
I would say
Yeah.
her contribution was Ezra coming
He's a
off the
Jedi.
ship,
He's a
and then
I'll show you.
Sabine not doing the surprise attack, having to announce herself. Like I would.
Yeah.
there you
Oh my
go.
God, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
Oh my God, that's
It
right.
would
I
have been
forgot about
so much
that.
better if she just came in and started fighting like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
away, and you're like, oh
Mhm.
man, that would have been so refreshing. Because yeah, we don't need to sit. You don't need to announce, hey guys,
Yeah,
I'm
well-
here. So
Blaster
yeah, that seemed
bolts
kinda corny.
over Ahsoka's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I was waiting after they
Yes.
killed the witch to just look at her and be like, the Force is female.
Oh,
Were we mistaken about the type of lightsaber that Ezra was building for himself? I thought
Yeah.
that he was building another blaster saber,
Yeah,
but I didn't see him shoot a blaster bolt at all out
He
of
did.
it.
He wasn't. I
No,
made
no,
the
he
joke,
didn't.
but I don't think he was.
no, he
he was
was.
Okay,
trying to
so
put
he
it
just-
together as fast as he could.
He just built
Yeah.
a plain generic lightsaber. Cool.
Yeah,
Can we bring the king up when you're out here?
That was pretty
You wanna
cool
come
though,
up for a
because he
second?
was a
So
Boken
no.
Jedi that didn't train with the Jedi
Should we
Academy
have a
or
fight?
learn from
Mhm.
Hugh Yang. That he was just assembling it together, and Hugh Yang was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
To him,
That's
it was
not
like
how
it
you
was
do
a
this.
tool.
it's
For
like
just a second. I'll be
Hugh
back.
Yang is like, that's not how you do it.
yeah. He's like,
Hold
no,
up,
I
what's
got
the
it,
type
I'm
of
good.
pistols?
And it worked. So I did like that element, and like I said, I like little things in this that really worked, but overall the story, kind of fell flat for me. And
Yeah.
I really hate the fact that Hayden Christensen does come in at the end of this, and I wasn't excited for that. I wasn't excited to see him on the screen for the first time, and that sucks. And that's not.
It
a
wasn't the
good
first
feeling.
time I haven't been excited to see him.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. At least in Ahsoka. I'm just
Not
I
this
talking
show.
about
murdered them all, the women
Yeah.
and the children.
and the children. And the
If they were to
sand.
do a
It's coarse and
flashback
rough.
of Kanan, would you want to see Freddie
Hmm.
Prinze Jr. in that role, or would you want that cast as somebody else? We're talking the voice characters bringing the real,
Yeah. Right.
animated to life.
That's a good
I-
I
question.
would. If they're gonna bring him back in, I would rather it be Freddie Prinze Jr. So, and they had the little picture of him in the Ghost. If you guys were keen-eyed viewers about that,
Yeah, I
so.
saw that.
And I
I
think
just
that
hope they don't.
was Freddie Prinze Jr. in that photo.
I hope they don't
Yeah.
bring him back.
I was glad
As-
they didn't make him a Force
No.
Ghost because I was like, that's
As
too
a
much.
Force ghost, is he still blind?
Yeah. Are you guys there?
The stormtroopers still were
Still
blind.
missing.
They couldn't hit anything after coming back. So
Right.
Yeah, true. True. Yep, I couldn't.
Just put it this way.
Mama.
Thanks.
But
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
I'm
you all right there?
interested. And did they ever give any closure on Bendu? Was it Bendu, the giant Force?
Bendu.
I
Yeah.
thought he died.
He didn't actually die, but he probably became one with the Force because he did disappear. So Thrawn was
Yeah.
shooting him, and then it left a mark on the ground, and he was gone. So
Okay.
Other than the
So
Mortis guys, that was my other backup. Is that maybe there's Bendu,
Maybe Bendu.
somewhere on this planet that's
Yeah.
calling out and
And that's
Balin.
the theme that I very much want them to explore, and they kind of hinted at that a little bit during this season about that balance between light and dark, and well, maybe there's a better way to balance between the two, and this is the type of Jedi that we're becoming. I very much want to see that explored, and Bendu would have been our good way into that if they were going to go
Yeah.
that route.
I'm not
But we didn't
convinced
get that.
Balin's a bad guy. Like, is Balin
I'm not
there to
either.
end the brother? Like,
Yeah.
maybe he knows
Yeah.
the brother is out there and he
Mhm.
wants to end him, or I don't know. Like, or he knows the
Agreed.
story and wants to be what Anakin
Yeah.
was supposed to be. I mean, Anakin, they say, turned down, his chance to be the father.
Yeah.
So is that Balin aware of the prophecy and wanting to be the one that balances the
Yeah.
Force, not necessarily evil?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not convinced he's just a bad guy.
Yeah, because
No, you're
the
right.
whole
He's
Mortis
very-
arc. Oh,
Yeah, I
sorry.
don't think he's a bad guy.
His methods for how he's handling it may not be the best, but his intentions are overall good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, he got a
wants to
free
end the
ride to
cycle.
where he needed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's why he was okay to let Shin Hati go. Where it's like, you're obviously
Mm-hmm.
much more evil or darker than
Mhm.
I needed you this long, but like I can't be associated with you with my new crew. I gotta.
Right.
Yeah, right.
New crew ain't gonna like you. You gotta go.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think maybe that's why he cut ties though, is that she was clearly a
True.
dark side, and
Yeah.
Look, I was talking to this owl. He says you don't even go here.
Yeah, right.
Who?
I want to see that owl fly back to David Bowie. You
Yeah.
remind me of the child.
Yeah. The child? That's a good one.
Babe.
Babe.
Yeah, so I got a question for all of you.
Uh-oh.
Now that we've, completed season 1, did this really need to take place in another galaxy? Did Thrawn need to be in another galaxy? Did we need to see the Mortis gods and the Witches of Dathomir in another galaxy? Or could this have just been on another planet that was like on the other side of the
Far away.
current galaxy or something? or
think,
the unknown regions.
Unknown region.
yeah, he would have already been messing with people if he was in the same galaxy. He would have
You
found a
think?
way back. Yeah, because that's the only reason he couldn't is because he was on a ship that couldn't travel, through the hyperspace to get back to the galaxy. That's why he wasn't a threat.
Yeah.
If he was in the galaxy, he would have found a way to get back.
Yeah, probably, because Thrawn is a great tactician. But I'm reminded of Balin's quote, I like the idea of it, but not the truth. And so, and so I like the idea of this other galaxy. I was very excited going into this being like, ooh, total new set of rules, new story, all this stuff. We don't know what's going to happen.
But I felt like they didn't really use it.
But they didn't use it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I like the idea of it, but not the truth. Not what we got.
Once again, they're losting it up. They're like,
Yeah.
we got these boxes. We got
the other side of the island.
We
There's
got
a hatch.
giant statues. Yeah.
I guess we should be proud that the whole other galaxy planet wasn't a desert.
Yes, it wasn't a desert planet.
I'm sure that was like in the initial drafts.
No.
Yes, I agree, Fernando.
Fernando says, wasn't it a way to isolate all of them from the others? Yeah, and I think that because of what they have established with the prequels and everything else, they're like, well, we need to take this out of the Star Wars galaxy to tell our own story, to make it something meaningful. So I think that was the idea behind it.
You guys, maybe you guys can help me remember this.
Okay.
But when they first found the Mortis gods, they never really established where that was, right? Like, I mean, basically they passed out in the ship. They woke up. The triangular ship it looked like from the outside was in front of them. They went there, and then when they went up, like, would have been better to utilize that. Like, would have been better that he would have been trapped where the Mortis gods are, not necessarily another galaxy, but that would be a way to isolate them. Tie in the Mortis gods now, because I'm curious, like, why are they in this other galaxy?
Yes.
When we've seen them already kind of have their own world that they controlled. So why I'm curious, like, why now they're just on a different planet. I thought I looked at them as gods and had their own entity or life force wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would they have honed in and captured this? I can't think of the whole story on my head right now, but it just would have been better to utilize that mysterious world.
I agree. Yeah, that would have been a much better way to do it, because they would have been isolated for one. It establishes that the Mortis gods are a part of this story, so we'd kind of understand a little bit more that Mortis gods are relating to whatever is happening with Balin as well. So yeah, it made a little bit more sense for the story, I think.
Were Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka, were their memories erased of that?
No, they knew him. They knew
so
exactly what was
Ahsoka
going on.
would have recognized
Anakin.
where she was had they gone there.
Did they remember? I thought they woke up in the ship, not remember. I thought because it flashed, and then they woke up not really knowing what had happened, that they had just fallen asleep. I don't
know. They bring it up a little bit later too, because they I think Obi-Wan talks about Qui-Gon a little bit later on. It's like I saw Qui-Gon on this in Mortis and whatnot. So they do mention a little bit later. But I think Anakin, he did get his mind erased from what he knew about his future, because his future was shown to him. So he did not remember that part, but the rest of it they did.
And then Ahsoka had to live with the trauma of dying and coming back to life. Great.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that is very much associated with Ahsoka too. So it would have made total sense to bring more of that into this season. And, maybe that's what we're going to get in the next one. Maybe the Peridea is our gateway into the Mortis realm as well. And that's where we're headed for season 2. So
everybody here want a season 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will watch it. So,
Rob?
What do you think, Robbie? No, hesitant?
I would rather Clone Wars come back. Like, I would rather... I don't know that the live action's doing this for me. Like, I would prefer Ashley Eckstein and the animated characters come back to tell the story, I guess. But, I mean, I want a story 2, or season 2. Like, I'm curious where Filoni's story wants to go. I still trust that he will get the story going more in a season 2. I'm just more afraid. I feel like he should have taken a bigger swing on season 1, diving into the live action to get fans hooked. And I'm worried he didn't, which I fear will cost us a season 2. Which then, does that then open the door where he just goes back telling Tales of the Jedi, or we get these kind of one-off stories that he can tell in the animated world to give us some closure. Like, is that what this is going to go to? I don't know. I mean, I like Clone Wars and I like the animated world better than what I just got introduced to for season 1.
I'm really hoping that because we know that Filoni has that movie coming out, that they have sort of outlined out how they want this all to go. And I hope Kathleen Kennedy, in her infinite wisdom, which she has displayed on numerous occasions, can look at it and say, okay, maybe the numbers were a bit disappointing for this first season, but as we build up to it, it should bring in the audience and make them understand, and not make them understand, but want them to understand, and maybe go back and watch some of the stuff and maybe get some recaps for, the Mortis God and some of the stuff that happened with Rebels. Maybe it's even some exposition where Hera's explaining to Ezra when he's
Jason
what's going on. Yeah, Jason. And they could do it. And I think, I do think that where they're going will be worth it. Man, to the non-animated series watchers, I can't imagine that they went away loving this first season.
I can't imagine that either.
You know what this series was missing? Something that comic books used to do. I don't know if they still do, but something that I remember as a kid. Every time you would read a comic book that would reference a story that took place several issues ago, they'd always have a little box. Hey, true believers, check out issue 27, all the way back in issue 27 when Iron Man was talking to Doodly Doo.
Yeah,
it's like these like the YouTube banners that pop up. Like,
right, yeah. So a little
exactly.
Hey, true believers, Ezra has always been a goof. So hey, go watch Rebels.
I think another fear too is that Disney has changed over. I mean, Bob Iger coming in. Well, after this show was greenlit, that also raises fears of he's already taken a hack job to Marvel. Like he's already slimming things down. Lando now is becoming a movie. Like they've changed their story. Like I'm almost afraid, is Dave Filoni's movie a guarantee at this point? Like if this is a bad failure, will Bob Iger step in and say, we're not dropping money on this? I mean,
oof. I'm very afraid of that. You're like, well, let's focus on Rey Skywalker now, and let's just forget about Dave Filoni and the Mandalorian verse.
Those movies made $1 billion.
Yeah,
let's get that. Let's get that Rey Jedi Council going. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh God! If that's the direction they take after, I'm very afraid of that.
But again,
we're gonna have to watch it, but I'm not gonna want to watch it.
Guys, it's gonna be tough.
I will not watch it if they continue. I mean, that Rey story, like that's the first Star Wars movie I did not go to the theater to see was Rise of the Skywalker. Like,
I wish I didn't go to the theater to see that one. So
you made the right choice. Holy cow!
Yeah, you did.
Well,
you did very much,
guys. We still have Taika Waititi to look forward to. He can make a great movie. I heard he's thinking about bringing in Natalie Portman. He thinks she'd be great in a Star Wars. So
yeah.
I heard he asked her when she was still alive.
Yeah.
He asked her if she had
He
been
brings up a great point. Fernando says the other galaxies, Middle Earth, the temple was Minas Tirith. There's the giant statues and Skull was in front of mountains that could be mortar borders. Yeah,
I think Dave said something like that too.
Rings of Power. Yeah, he loves the Lord of the Rings. So you can definitely tell Peridia is very similar to Middle Earth in how it looks and the aesthetic. Yeah. I agree.
Season 2 is going to be a shriveled up Balin. He's going to be like he'll be Gollum.
My precious.
No.
Oh God, yeah.
Would that be worse than
that would be
generated Balin?
We get Andy Serkis to play him.
Jeez. Oh, bring him back.
We hate stuff Robinsons.
Oh my
what were those turtle people called?
But we used to be Shin's master. We hate Shin. She sided with our enemies.
We hate Purgles.
Guys.
Purgles.
The Purgles. We hate them.
Honestly, we just needed one Purgling in this season finale, and they would have made it. We'd have all been, it's the greatest ever. They got Purgled.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys, it's getting kind of late, so I want us to put a pin in this. And if you guys want to, we're going to expand on all this stuff tomorrow on Not Your Status Quo on the Twitch stream. Are you guys going to be posting live on YouTube as well? Or are we going to do StreamYards? Perfect.
Nice.
It'll be on YouTube as well. We're all coming back for that, and we're going to expand on all this stuff. Please go give Not Your Status Quo and Attack on Show your subscriptions as well as your likes. Check out all their videos and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed sitting with us here talking about the finale episode. If you didn't enjoy the finale, hopefully you enjoyed our show nonetheless. And guys, Rob, E, Doug, Keith, Dave, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun. And, you know, is there anything else you guys want to plug before we get out of here?
I just want to say thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. I don't get to do the live stream a lot, and you guys kill it every week. Both of you, I love your channel, so thank you for including me.
I've wanted you on for the longest time there, Robbie, so I'm glad that we got this done here for the Ahsoka finale. I'm glad that we get to come back tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. What about you guys? Not Your Status Quo. You got anything else to plug before we get out?
Well, we got this live stream going tomorrow night.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, really? I hadn't heard about this.
And we have some special guests. We got Chris from Fatherly Fandom coming on.
Oh,
we got Robbie from Attack on Show.
That's
we might have
awesome.
NYSQ. I
He's
mean,
overrated.
we are going to have a
NYSQ's
star-studded cast.
Rob's a jerk.
We don't often get celebrities on our live stream, and we're going to have 3 of them tomorrow.
3? Who are the 3?
I can't wait to find out.
NYSQ, Chris, and Robbie.
2 of those are stars. Yeah. NYSQ and Robbie.
Well,
about
I'd
this
like
other
to plug our sponsor for the night, the delicious taste of Sprite. Go buy Sprite.
Sprite!
Sprite is great. So yeah,
Bringing
just
it back.
that's my plug.
Yep.
Drink Sprite.
It's refreshing and delicious. Go get it today. Well, all right, guys.
Crisp and
Thank you
clean
so
and no
much.
Caffeine. Wait, that's 7-Up. Sorry, Sprite.
Oh, shh. Lost our sponsorship there, guys.
Almost
Sorry.
had him.
Almost. So thanks for joining us, guys. And from our families to yours, have a good one. And may the Force be with you always.